Okay, so here's our good old little 265, 30-year-old tractor now, actually 35-year-old tractor now, but still a good little run around on the farm for the odd job. And I got a little bit of a problem with it. I noticed the other day a little bit of water seems to be coming out of the radiator, and you can just see it's slightly wet down there, a little bit of a dribble. And I took the front off earlier, and I can just see, if I zoom down there, slight water on the bottom of the radiator. Now my first thoughts were the radiator's knackered. 35-year-old radiator, quite possibly rusted through. But also, a couple of other things I've just found. Took the radiator the cap off, and the washer's completely buggered inside. So that's not sealing, which meant some water might be coming down from here over the overflow pipe there, because there's a little overflow bit there if that leaks by. So I've actually got, we'll just put the camcorder down a minute. I've actually got a new radiator cap. There we go, one fits straight in there off of the internet for about £8, which is nice. But also, it's missing an overflow pipe that should come off the radiator. You probably can't see in there, it's too dark. You can probably just make out a little pipe there. There should be a little rubber hose off there coming down the side of the engine to stop any excess water that comes out of the radiator from going straight on it. So that needs replacing. So what I'm going to actually do, I'm going to attempt to take this cover off here, because I need to really see what's going on behind there. See whether the radiator has got a hole in it, or whether it is just that cap. Well, I've not done this before. In theory it looks quite easy because there's a couple of bolts, one there and a couple here, and I think if I just take these bits off here it should just all pull up. And that's the theory, and now the reality is, let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm just going to start by taking off. Well, let's take that new cap off, because that'll be in the way of the cover. Put that down. Down there. I think I'll leave the fuel cap off. This air vent's got to come off as well, because that won't go past there. But looking at that, that's not going to be easy. That's a bit wedged on there, so I'm not quite sure how well that'll come off. Oh, wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, so we've got a 13mm spanner on here. Try not to lose the bolts. These bolts are coming undone easily enough. That one's got a head that's going round. I'm going to get another spanner on there. Right, I've got myself a socket set now. Let's see if I can get this undone any better. The good thing about a tractor like this, it's a little bit like Meccano. It's old technology, 70s. And okay, so it hasn't got all the electronics, the flashy gadgets and stuff, but the thing is, if you want to work on it, you can do it with a few spanners. You haven't got to be an electronic genius. Okay, so that's right. That's that side. Let's go and do the other side. Of course, the downside of this sort of thing is it all takes time, and if you're paying a mechanic to do this, it's costing you money. Whereas if you get on something like the McCormick, you can just lift the bonnet and access the engine very quickly. I mean, this doesn't cost me anything, but if I was paying someone to do this, just to undo bolts, it might cost me £50 odd an hour to get someone just to do this. Which is dead money really, isn't it? As you can see, it's not rocket science, it's just time. It's done, needs a bit more undoing. There we go, I think we're there. Yeah. Don't lose the parts, so I'm going to have to be very careful when I put these bits. Okay. Right. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to lift this off here now. Let's see how we get on. I'll just move the camera so you get a better view. Diesel cap off. Right. Whoa. Huh. Gosh. Bit heavier than I thought. There we go. One Massey Ferguson 265 bonnet removed.